Maid found her boss, crying in his office at 3 a.m. He whispered, "Don't tell anyone hello, everyone, and welcome back to Romance Rewind Stories." Before we dive into today's incredible story, I have a small favor to ask. If you're enjoying these heartwarming tales, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads. It's quick, it's free, and it's the best way to support us in bringing you more emotional romance stories. And here's something I'd love to know. Where are you watching from today? Drop your city or country in the comments below. I always enjoy seeing our amazing community from around the world. Oh, and if this story touches your heart, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps us grow and reach more people who love these kinds of tales. Now, let's get into today's story. Maid found her boss, crying in his office at 3 a.m. He whispered, "Don't tell anyone." The grandfather clock in the hallway struck 3 in the morning, its chimes echoing through the empty mansion like a ghost's whisper. Margot Sinclair pushed her cleaning cart quietly across the marble floor, careful not to wake anyone in the household. This was her favorite shift. The graveyard hours when the wealthy Sterling family slept and she could work in peace, invisible as always. At 31, Margot had been cleaning houses for almost a decade. It wasn't the life she'd imagined when she was younger, studying literature at community college with dreams of becoming a writer. But dreams didn't pay rent. Dreams didn't put food on the table for her aging mother who lived in a nursing home across town. So she cleaned and she survived, and she told herself that was enough. The Sterling mansion was her best client. The pay was decent, the family rarely spoke to her, and the house itself was beautiful, all soaring ceilings and crystal chandeliers, and art that probably cost more than she'd earn in 10 lifetimes. She'd been working here for 6 months and had perfected the art of being invisible. Night, she was scheduled to clean the 3rd floor, the executive wing where Silas Sterling, the patriarch of the Sterling family, kept his home office. At 42, he ran Sterling Global Enterprises, a financial empire worth billions. Margot had seen him exactly 3 times in 6 months, always from a distance. He was tall, severe-looking, with silver threading through his dark hair and eyes that seemed to look through people rather than at them. The 3rd floor was always empty this time of night. Silas worked late, but never this late. So when Margot heard a sound coming from his office, a raw, broken sound that made her chest tighten, she froze. Someone was crying. Not just crying, sobbing. The kind of crying that came from somewhere deep and wounded, the kind that shook your whole body and left you gasping for air. Margot's first instinct was to leave. Whatever was happening behind that door wasn't her business. She was the maid. She was invisible. She should just turn around and... But the sound was so broken, so utterly desperate, that she found her feet carrying her toward the office door instead of away from it. It stood slightly ajar, a sliver of golden light spilling into the dark hallway. "Sir?" she called softly, pushing the door open a few inches. "Mr. Sterling, are you—" Silas Sterling sat on the floor behind his massive desk, his back against the wall, his expensive suit jacket discarded, his white shirt rumpled. His face was buried in his hands, and his shoulders shook with sobs that seemed to tear themselves from his chest. Papers were scattered around him like snow. A whiskey bottle lay on its side, empty. For a moment, Margot couldn't move. This wasn't the cold, controlled man she'd glimpsed from a distance. This was someone completely shattered. "Mr. Sterling," she said again, more urgently this time, stepping into the room. "What happened? Are you hurt?" He looked up sharply, his face wet with tears, his eyes red and wild. For a second, she saw panic flash across his features, the panic of being caught vulnerable, then something else, recognition maybe, or resignation. "Get out," he said, but his voice broke on the words. "Please, just get out." Margot should have listened, should have backed away and pretended she'd never seen this. But something in his voice, the pleading beneath the command, made her stay. "You're not okay," she said quietly, moving closer. "Let me help. You can't help. He laughed bitterly, a sound like breaking glass. No one can help. It's over. Everything is over. Margot knelt down slowly, maintaining distance but close enough to see the devastation in his eyes. What's over? He stared at her for a long moment, as if deciding whether to trust this stranger who cleaned his floors. Then, as if the dam had finally broken completely, the words spilled out. "I lost everything," he whispered. "A bad investment. One stupid, arrogant decision, and I lost $3 billion. $3 billion. The board is meeting tomorrow to vote me out. The company my grandfather built, that my father died protecting, I destroyed it in one afternoon." His voice cracked. "Everyone trusted me. Thousands of employees, investors, families, and I failed them all. My mother hasn't spoken to me in 3 days. My children don't understand why Daddy can't stop working. And my wife—" He stopped, a fresh wave of pain crossing his face. "My wife left 2 months ago. Took the kids and filed for divorce because I was never home, never present, always chasing the next deal." Tears streamed down his face freely now, and he didn't bother wiping them away. "I thought I was building something. Turns out I was just destroying everything that mattered." And Margot felt her own throat tighten. She'd expected arrogance, maybe anger, not this raw, honest grief. "I'm sorry," she said softly. "I'm so sorry." "Don't be." He met her eyes, and she was struck by how young he suddenly looked, how lost. "You're the maid. You probably think I deserve this. Rich man falls. There's probably poetry in that." "I don't think you deserve it," Margot said honestly. "I think you're human, and humans make mistakes." He blinked, as if her words surprised him. "You don't even know me." "No," she agreed, "but I know what it feels like to lose everything, to feel like you've failed everyone who ever counted on you. I know what 3 a.m. crying sounds like because I've done it myself." Something shifted in his expression, curiosity breaking through the despair. "Why were you crying at 3 a.m.? Margot hesitated, then figured, "My mother has Alzheimer's. 2 years ago, I had to put her in a care facility because I couldn't handle it alone anymore. She doesn't remember me most days. Last month, she called me by my sister's name, my sister who died when we were kids. And I just broke. Cried in my car in the nursing home parking lot at 3 in the morning because I felt like I'd failed her, failed everyone." Silas was quiet for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was softer. "Did you fail her?" "No," Margot said. "I did the best I could with what I had. Took me a long time to believe that, though." "How do you live with it?" he asked. "The guilt?" "You don't live with it," Margot said. "You live through it, one day at a time. Some days you cry at 3 a.m. Other days you get up and keep trying. Eventually the good days start to outnumber the bad ones." Silas stared at her like she'd spoken a foreign language. "I don't know if I can do that." "You can," Margot said firmly. "Because the alternative is staying here on this floor, drowning in whiskey and self-pity, and I don't think that's who you really are." "You don't know who I really am," he said, but there was less fight in his voice now. "Then tell me," Margot challenged, "who is Silas Sterling when he's not being a CEO?" For the first time, something like a smile touched his lips, sad but real. "I don't remember. It's been so long since I was anything other than the company." "Then maybe it's time to remember," Margot said. She stood slowly, extending her hand. "Come on, get up." He looked at her hand like it was a lifeline. Then, slowly, he took it. Margot helped him to his feet. He was unsteady, whether from whiskey or exhaustion or emotional collapse, she wasn't sure. But he was standing. That was something. "What now?" he asked, sounding lost. "Now you drink water, not whiskey. You wash your face, you sit down and breathe. And then, if you want, you tell me about something other than business. Something that makes you remember who you were before all this." He let her guide him to the leather couch, let her bring him water from the sidebar, let her hand him tissues without judgment, and then, as the clock ticked toward 4 a.m., he started talking. He told her about growing up under impossible pressure, groomed from birth to take over the family empire, about loving art but being told it was frivolous, about wanting to be a teacher but having that dream dismissed, about marrying young because it was expected, having children because it was time, building a company because it was his duty. "I don't think I've ever made a choice just for me," he admitted. "Every decision was about legacy, about expectations, about what a Sterling should do. And now, look where it got me." "It got you here," Margot said. "Talking to someone at 4 in the morning. Being honest, maybe for the first time in years. That's not nothing." He looked at her, really looked at her for the first time. "Why are you being kind to me? You could blackmail me with this. Tell the tabloids, sell the story." "I could," Margot agreed, "but I won't." "Why not?" She thought about the question. "Because I've been where you are, not the same circumstances, but the same feeling. Like you're drowning and no one can see you're underwater. Someone was kind to me then, a nurse at my mother's facility who sat with me that night in the parking lot and just listened. Didn't judge, didn't offer empty platitudes, just listened. I'm paying that forward." Silas was quiet for a long moment. Then, "Don't tell anyone. About tonight, please." "I won't," Margot promised. "But you have to promise me something too." "What?" "That you'll get up tomorrow and face whatever comes. Not as the CEO or the Sterling heir, just as you. Whatever that means." He nodded slowly. "I'll try." Margot stood to leave, gathering her cleaning supplies, but as she reached the door, his voice stopped her. "What's your name? Your real name, not just the maid." "Margot," she said. "Margot Sinclair." "Thank you, Margot Sinclair," he said quietly, "for seeing me." She nodded and slipped out, closing the door softly behind her. The next day, the mansion was chaos. Board members arrived in black cars. Lawyers filed in and out. Margot kept her head down, cleaning as always, invisible as always. But she found herself wondering what was happening behind those closed doors, wondering if Silas was surviving the storm. 3 days later, she was cleaning the library when someone cleared their throat behind her. She turned to find Silas standing in the doorway. He looked tired but steadier, more present. "Hi," he said, and there was something almost shy in his voice. "Hi," Margot replied, unsure of what else to say. "I wanted to thank you," Silas said, "for the other night. You were right, I needed to face it, so I did." "How did it go?" "I'm out as CEO," he said, and she saw pain flash across his face. "But I negotiated a transition that protects the employees, set up a fund for anyone affected by the losses, and I'm going to therapy, starting next week. Because you were right about something else too. I need to figure out who I am without the company." Margot felt her chest swell with something like pride. "That takes courage." "It takes desperation," he corrected with a small smile, "but I'll take it." He hesitated. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure." "You said you wanted to be a writer once. Do you still write?" The question caught her off guard. "How did you—" "I listened," he said simply. "That night. You mentioned studying literature. I just wondered if you still did it." "Sometimes," Margot admitted. "Late at night when I can't sleep. Nothing published, just words. I'd like to read them sometime," Silas said, "if you'd let me." She studied him carefully. This wasn't pity, it was genuine interest. "Why?" "Because you saw me when I was invisible," he said. "I'd like to return the favor." Over the next few months, something unexpected happened. Silas started spending more time at the mansion, not working, but living. He'd appear in whatever room Margot was cleaning, asking if he could talk while she worked. At first, she thought he was lonely. Then she realized he was healing. He told her about his therapy sessions, about learning to set boundaries with his mother, about fighting for joint custody of his children. She told him about her writing, about her mother's good days and bad days, about dreams deferred but not destroyed. They became friends in the quiet hours of the morning. He'd make coffee while she cleaned. She'd recommend books. He'd ask about her day. She'd listen to his fears. And slowly, carefully, something shifted. One night, Margot was finishing up in the library when Silas appeared with 2 cups of tea and an envelope. "I have something for you," he said, sitting down on the couch. Margot sat beside him, taking the tea. "What is it?" "Open it." Inside was a check for $50,000. Margot's hands shook. "I can't accept this." "It's not charity," Silas said quickly. "It's an investment in you, your writing. I want you to take a year off. Write your book, the one you've been talking about. Really give it a shot." "Silas, this is too much." "It's not enough," he interrupted. "You saved my life, Margot. That night in my office I was planning to... I had pills in my desk drawer. I was going to end it. But you walked in. You saw me. You gave me a reason to get up off that floor. So please, let me give you something back." Tears filled Margot's eyes. "I didn't do anything special." "You did everything that mattered," he said softly. His hand found hers. "You were kind when I deserved judgment. You were strong when I was falling apart. You saw me as human when everyone else saw me as a failure." "You're not a failure," Margot whispered. "I know that now," Silas said. "Because of you." He took a breath. "I need to tell you something else. Something I probably shouldn't say because it's complicated and messy and you'll probably think I'm crazy." "What?" "I'm falling in love with you," he said simply. "I don't know when it started. Maybe that first night when you knelt beside me and didn't run away. Maybe later when you told me about your mother and I realized you understood pain in a way no one else in my life ever had. But I am falling. And I know it's complicated because I'm your employer and I'm going through a divorce and my life is a disaster. But I had to tell you because pretending otherwise was making me insane." Margot's heart hammered in her chest. "Silas, you don't have to say anything," he said quickly. "I just needed you to know that you're not invisible to me, that I see you, all of you, the writer, the daughter, the woman who cleans houses at 3 a.m. because that's what you have to do to survive. I see all of it, and I think you're extraordinary." For a long moment Margot couldn't speak. "Then I see you too, not the CEO or the sterling heir, just you, the man who cries at 3 a.m. and drinks tea instead of whiskey now, the man who's learning to be human again. And I think..." She took a breath. "I think I'm falling too." The kiss was soft, tentative, tasting of tea and tears and hope. When they pulled apart, both were crying. "What happens now?" Margot whispered. "Now," Silas said, "we take it one day at a time. Some days will be hard, some will be beautiful, but we'll face them together, if you'll have me." "I'll have you," Margot said, laughing through her tears. Disaster and all. 2 years later, Margot's novel, about a woman who finds love in the darkest hour, became a bestseller. The dedication read, "For SS, who taught me that being seen is the greatest gift we can give each other." At the book launch, Silas stood in the back of the room, no longer running an empire, but teaching business ethics at a local college. He caught Margot's eye across the crowd and smiled. She smiled back, remembering the night that changed everything. The night she'd found her boss crying at 3 a.m. and chose kindness over invisibility. The night they'd both started learning how to be human again. And that's where our story ends today. What did you think? Did Margot and Silas's unexpected connection touch your heart? Let us know in the comments what your favorite moment was. If you enjoyed this story, we have so many more waiting for you. Check out our playlist for more heartwarming romance tales that will make you believe in love all over again. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. Your support means everything to us. Until next time, keep believing in love, keep believing in second chances, and remember, the best stories are the ones that remind us we all deserve our happily ever after. See you in the next story.